Good morning, students. Hope you all are doing well. We have discussed about the objectives of management in our previous session, and I have shared some videos also. I hope you have watched them, and I'm waiting for any kind of doubts or queries that should come from your side so that I'll be able to deal with them. And please provide me with all your doubts. So today we are going to discuss about a very important topic, that is importance of management. Now, when we talk about importance of management, what exactly we mean? See, importance means relevance, something which makes something uh, useful, beneficial. Why management is required? We have been discussing about management since the day one of our session. Then we have learned by now that management is really an indispensable, a very essential element of business. So here we are going to learn about few points, learning which or explaining, elaborating on which we can really highlight the role of management or the importance of management in the context of a business organization. So the first importance of management is management helps in achieving group goals. Okay. Now, group goals means what? As we all know, group refers to a team. Okay, a group of people. Now, a group of people, they can be the leaders, the supervisors, as well as the subordinates who are working under the instruction and the supervision of the manager. They can be at the middle level, they can be at the lower level, and at the non-managerial level as well. At the top level, we find only the managers. We don't find any subordinates. The top level, the shorter pyramid in the big pyramid, where we can find the top level managers, the board of directors, and whoever is at the senior most positions in an organization. Those people, they are the managers only. So they are not being managed by anyone, since that is the topmost layer. So beyond which there is no more layer of management. So that level we can find only the managers who are going to manage the people who are working in the next supervisory level. That means the middle level management. So top level managers are the managers of the middle level managers, and middle level managers are the managers of the lower level managers, and lower level managers are the managers of the non-managerial level managers, non-managerial level workers. Non-managerial level people are not the managers, they are the workers. So they are going to report to their immediate supervisors. They are the foremen or the class 4 staffs or the executives who are in the lower level management. That is just a briefing about the levels of management. So when we talk about management helps in achieving group goals, it means that management creates teams and coordinates with individuals to achieve individual goals along with the organizational goals. Each individual joins an organization with their own set of expectations, aspirations, goals, and objectives. Right? We all are individuals, human beings with hearts and brain. So even if we are part of an organization, we all have our own personal objectives. And we are not machines, so we cannot sacrifice every time our personal objectives for the sake of organizational objective. That is common psychological thing. We all have to understand that. And that is why management is a process that involves that individual goals should be aligned with the team goals, the group goal, for which we all are there in a group, in a team of people, in an association of people. So that team is having its own set of goals, and individuals dwelling in that team, they have their own goals. So aligning the individual goals along with the group goals is actually the job of management. So that is one of the very important relevance or significance of management. If management cannot do that, if an organization cannot align individual objectives with the organizational objectives, that means both the objectives cannot be put in a linear equation, then it will be very difficult to keep the people motivated to work for the organizational purpose. They won't be working. They will be demotivated. Maybe by force they will work for a few days, but at heart they will not be satisfied. And we learned that satisfactory and satisfied workforce, both are important. Okay, a satisfied people can only be productive people, motivated people. So if you want to get the best benefit out of a person, best possible utilization of the resource. Okay, optimum utilization that we talk about. So that optimization of the ability can be is made possible only when the person himself will be able to deliver his best. By force, you cannot make a person work at the level best. I can force you that you study, but until and unless you yourself are motivated to study, you cannot bring a good marks. Okay, so for delivering a good performance, own individual efforts are needed, and individual efforts will come only when a person feels motivated to work for the betterment of self as well as the betterment of the organization. When the people will realize that if I work, that organizational goal that I'm going to work for is also beneficial for me. If I contribute towards the achievement of the organizational objective, I'll also get some benefit. Maybe I'll be rewarded, maybe I'll be incentivized, or maybe I'll be provided with some recognition, which is satisfying my personal goal. So that will make me motivated. And then I'll be working in a better, what to say, diligence, sincerity, with more mindfulness for the organizational goal achievement. So this is one of the important importance of management as well as the objective of management also. Remember that management attempts to align individual goals with the group goals. That is how management helps in achieving group goals, by making individual work voluntarily for contributing towards the group objectives. Next is management increases efficiency. We all know this is one of the objectives of management, to increase efficiency, to derive the best possible benefit out of the available resources so that the cost can be reduced. And when the cost is reduced, automatically profitability can go high, and productivity will obviously be increased. As I told you, efficiency also deals with optimum utilization of available resources. Whatever resources I have, if I can get the best benefit out of it, optimum benefit out of it, then automatically I will feel that I'm not wasting my resources. I'm using them at the best. So wastage is automatically minimized. Right? If I am good in something, I'm working for an organization, and my organization is able to derive the best from me, then definitely what will happen? Whatever capacity I am having, that is a resource for the organization. So I am giving the best resource of mine, best possibility, best ability of mine. So automatically we can feel, the organization will feel it is getting the best possible benefit of its resources. So my resources, my capabilities are not wasted. They are coming to the work of the organization. That is why we can say that management tries or attempts to bring or build a satisfied workforce. Okay, there are some processes in management which are to be followed, and because of which the workforce can remain satisfied, the people can remain satisfied, they can voluntarily contribute to the organizational goal because their individual goals can be aligned with the organizational goal, and because they will feel motivated to deliver for the organizational goal, since they feel both the goals are aligned, so their personal goals will also be taken care of by the organizational goals. That is why they will feel motivated to contribute, and motivated people are always highly productive people, and when people are productive, they are giving their best possible capacities, and organization can get the optimum utilization of the available resources. Now I hope you have understood the linkage. Okay, please try to understand the relationships. Very easy, very simple. Apply your logic, you will understand it better. Next one, creates dynamic organization. Now what is the meaning of the term dynamic? Dynamic means something which is flexible, changeable, modifiable, okay, that you can mold as per the situational requirement. Now in the changing situation, changing environment, an organization is working. Environment we cannot have a control on, that will go on changing. This is only constant. Okay, over the time it will go on getting updated, upgraded, changed. So that is why organization, being an environmental entity, element, it has to keep its feet as per the tune of the organizational change, go on tapping its feet as per the tune of the organizational change, environmental changes. That is why it has to be dynamic in its nature. So it says that management helps the employees overcome their resistance to change and adapt as per the changing situation to ensure its survival, growth, and its competitive edge. An organization which can mold itself productively, effectively as per the changing requirement of the situation, that organization can remain competitive. Competitive means you can stay in the competition successfully. You can beat your competitors due to your performance. For example, right now, whatever situation is going on, no school or no college, university is able to take classes, right? So what is the situation now? It's a technological change has taken place. This kind of digital facilities were not available when we were students, right? The kind of support you are getting from your teachers, we did not get it. There was no possibility. We had to do everything, manage everything by ourselves almost. Only in classes we used to get some support. If the schools are closed, then we have to manage everything by ourselves. So right now the changes have taken place in the technological environment, and with this digitalization of techniques, the system, educational system has also been digitalized. Okay, so many new portals have been introduced which are being used. Different teachers are using different portals, different applications. Okay, different gadgets have been there in your hand, so you are taking the benefit of it, which we were not able to take. So this is a change. Now if our school, for example, we teachers, we know how to deal with this technical gadgets, you students know because you are quite well versed with all these techniques, so you are dealing with all these things. But there are many schools, think about the government schools and all, many of the students who come from maybe underprivileged backgrounds, or maybe who come from some kind of lower economic background, oppressed sections of the society, hardly few of them they have, or maybe none of them having this kind of sophisticated gadgets in their hands. Neither they have smartphones, nor they have this kind of laptops or computer desktop systems like this, and they are not even aware of this kind of facilities or how to deal with them. Many of them are scared of having all these things. Even the teachers also might be, they are not comfortable, or they are not aware of using this kind of electrical or maybe digitalized techniques. So they are unable to tap the benefit of the environmental change, which we are taking the advantage. The facility is there in the technological environment, we are taking the benefit. Many other university schools are, maybe they are taking some advanced modes of techniques, even more than this what we are using. So the more you can get adapted to the situation, the better you will remain competitive in the environment. I guess I'm clear. So dynamic means changeable. And always remember, my dear students, whenever there is a change introduced in an organization, people, employees, they resist, they oppose accepting those changes. They feel, they develop a comfort zone where they have been working since long. So why to change it? No people feels like changing it. For example, you all have your individual seats or places to sit in your classes, and every time you come, you sit in that particular place only. You don't feel like changing the position. So we all want to stay in a place where we have been. So that is why people resist, and handling those resistance is also a very difficult task by the managers. They have to motivate the people so that they feel comfortable to handle these changes. Otherwise such changes cannot be adopted. If we teachers opposed, our sister cannot introduce this kind of facilities in the educational the training process that we are using at the moment. So people have to accept, employees have to accept. So management ensures that the employee accepts this kind of changes. So it creates an environment having a dynamic culture. Personal objectives are basically individual objectives. People feel they all have their individual personal goals. I have already explained, and it is very difficult to match individual goals with the organizational goal. If the manager says that, Mr. this and that, you have to work till late night today, we have to complete this group target. For the person may have a date with his girlfriend, spouse, or whoever, or maybe a party at home. So his personal goal has to be sacrificed in this case. But if the manager says, if you stay back, you are going to be paid for your overtime. Oh, I'll get some extra money. Okay, then I'll do. So this is how management has to be done. Okay, individual goals have to be managed so that it can be aligned with the organizational goal. I've just given one example because due to proper motivation and leadership of the manager, this can be achieved. So management achieves help in achieving personal objectives of the people. Lastly, development of a society. The society can be developed if organization can express have proper management, create employment opportunities and benefit.